A lot of times in life, it feels like things just aren't going our way. It feels like things aren't going right. It may feel like God is going against you. It may feel like the school system is going against you. It may feel like your family is going against you. You may find yourself in a position where you feel like everything is going wrong, nothing's going right, and there's not a way to get out of that just yet. You may be watching this video thinking that you're in the lowest point of your entire life. Like you can't find yourself digging out of certain situations or certain circumstances that you find yourself in. And it feels like everything is impossible right now. And I really just wanted to reassure you that that could not be any further from the truth. Maybe sometimes you've got to find yourself in a situation where you feel like it's your lowest so you can actually grow from that. In every single story, every single movie, every single book, whatever it is, the character finds themselves at the worst point of their life. It may feel like that entire book is going against them or the entire movie is going against them. But eventually in the third act, they start to climb, they start to grow, they start to recognize exactly what that low moment was. And essentially it was just a moment that leveled them, it grounded them, it humbled them maybe. It put them in a position to forget their pride, forget what they thought that they were, forget what they thought they had to do, and actually find themselves on a mission to do what they were supposed to do. And I get a lot of emails, a lot of messages, a lot of comments of people saying, bro, I'm in the lowest point of my life. I don't know what to do. I need some advice, some guidance, some anything. And every single time I find myself starting it off with, look for the lesson in what you're going through. I'm a true believer in the fact that nothing is for nothing. Everything has a purpose. You can learn something from everything. You're always in a situation that can help you grow. And even if it feels like you're at your lowest point, the same way that that character in that movie recognizes exactly what that point was and why that point was needed for a story, we need to start recognizing these things as well. I found myself in so many positions where I felt like my life hit rock bottom, where I felt like just nothing was going right, nothing could possibly go right from the situation. It just felt like everything was going against me. And I feel like I'm living proof that that situation, that moment, that low point does not have to define the ending of your story. Because every single time I changed for the better, it wasn't because I woke up one morning happy, smile on my face, thinking, you know what, I want to change. And currently I feel like I've built the mental resistance to wake up one day, be happy, and still want to change. But that's something that I had to constantly grind and hustle to work towards. But before that, it's like every single time I found myself at these low moments, that's when I changed. That's when I started doing things that I knew the future me would be proud of. And I feel like I've told this story on this channel before, but my entire self-growth journey really started my 8th grade summer, my freshman year of high school, the summer before freshman year of high school, where I really feel like I hit rock bottom. It felt like nobody in my life respected me. My sister didn't respect me. Both sisters didn't respect me at the time. Well, it felt like this. It felt like my parents were pissed off with me every single time I said anything. It felt like my friends didn't respect me. My grades were slipping. Everything was bad. Everything was rock bottom for me. And even though this was definitely probably a bottom 5 moment of my entire life, both physically and mentally, I wouldn't change it for the entire world because I know exactly what that was for in my life. I know that my entire social life, my entire high school career, my college career was all pretty much funded based off of this low point in my life. My entire life pretty much changed after this low point, and I'm so grateful for the fact that I reached this low point. And I'm so grateful for the fact that I was able to recognize exactly what I needed to get from this situation. Because typically before I would change my perspective and realize that I can learn something from these low points, I would typically just victimize myself and victimize the situation that I'm in. And of course, victimization isn't always incorrect sometimes. Victimization is valid sometimes because life is tough, bro. Like, we are the victims of certain situations. But I chose not to view myself as a victim at a certain point in time because I realized I'm not getting anything from being a victim. Because being a victim really just implies that something is happening to you. Something has this dominating force, this dominating power over you, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. And I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to go through certain situations. I don't want to reach a low point in my life and feel like a victim. If somebody's constantly punching me, I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be a victim of being punched. I want to be the person that defended himself from being punched. I don't want to be a victim of my current situation or those lowest points that I find myself in. I don't want to be a victim of that situation. I want to be somebody that persevered. I want to be somebody that defended themselves and got themselves out of that situation. But I would say that the most important thing that I got from these situations, from these lowest points of my life, was perspective, or really just the ability to change my perspective and the ability to find these situations and find the lesson in that situation. Find these situations as something that can grow me instead of something that's just going to bring me down or something that's going to make me feel worse about myself. I can't remember exactly what the quote said verbatim, but pretty much what it was saying was that if it feels bad right now, it's not the end. And I can only really speak for myself on this point, and maybe you relate to it, but every single situation that I've had where it felt like I was at the lowest point of my life that was never the end of my story. That was never the end of a situation that I was in. I've always changed for the better, and I've always grown from that situation. And I am no different from you at all. We're both humans. So if I know that I can persevere through my lowest points, then there was no doubt in my mind that you cannot do the exact same thing that I did. Growth can never happen if you continue to complain about your situation, or if you continue to search for things to feel sorry for yourself about. Growth can only happen if you look around and look for the lesson in whatever situation you find yourself in. Everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, then it's not the end. That's a quote that I was thinking about earlier, and like I said, I relate to this so much, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that as well. And if there's one more thing that I've learned, is that you've got to be open to having these low points. I know it's scary, nobody wants to feel like they're at a low point in their life, but I promise you, if you're accepting to these low points, you're going to find the good in the situation a lot easier than if you're so scared of it, you're trying to run from it. Bad things are going to happen. Stop running from them, embrace them, learn from those situations, and grow as a person. Hopefully you took something away from that. And if you want an easier way that helps you with finding comfortability in these low points, I designed a self-growth journal here with 50 guided self-growth prompts that can help you find comfortability and help you find yourself, and hopefully make it a little bit easier to navigate through these low points in life. So thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.